Okay, so in this video, I'm going to just show you the basic navigation of the RPG Key software. It's not specifically about how to use your RPG Key in Lightroom. It's about how to use the RPG Key program, whether it be in Lightroom or any other program on your Mac. It's kind of a basic how-to. So it's going to ramble on, and I think this will be a lot of great content for you. So the first thing you want to do when you get your RPG Key, of course, so we've talked about this already, is pick your hardware, pick the target program that you want to work with. So you've got, in the top left, you've got a hardware selector. Top right, you've got a target program. So we're going to use Lightroom 5. And then right here is a layout. And so the idea is that you can start using your RPG Key as it came from the factory, and basically how I use it if you're using it in Lightroom. Okay. If you customize your RPG Key in any way, which we encourage everybody to do, you're going to want to go ahead and save those settings. So I'm going to show you that first. Once this import is done, I'm going to show you that basically you want to back up your customized RPG Key right away, so that if you do what I just did, you don't overwrite all your customization mistakenly. So if you go and you make a change to your RPG Key by clicking on any of these keys, and I'm going to show you how to customize it in a moment, you can go up to the layout menu and you can hit export. Okay, and you're going to see something like this. So in this case, it says save as Adobe Photoshop Lightroom 5, and then it says -layout. So what I would do here is I would change it, and I would say -for movie, because I'm making a movie, and I'd hit save. And so what it does is it saves that file as a plist. So if you're working, if your computer crashes or something goes wrong, you can go back up to this layout menu and you can import that file, and you'll be good to go. It'll be like nothing ever happened. Okay, so let's talk about customizing your RPG Key. So the first thing, again, you have to pick a program that you want, a target program. So if you want to use your RPG Keys in Photoshop CC, okay, you pick Photoshop CC. If you want to use it in Lightroom 5, you use Lightroom 5. You can use your RPG Key in both of those programs. Okay, when you're in Photoshop, it'll be a Photoshop RPG Key. When you're in Lightroom, it will be a Lightroom RPG Key. So you can set it up for both for Photoshop and Lightroom, and when you jump back and forth, you don't need to do anything in our software. It will just know that you're in Photoshop or you're in Lightroom. But let's start with the basics. To program any one key for Lightroom, we've picked Lightroom, okay? And now we're going to highlight that button, the desired button, and make it blue. So in this case, it's button 201. It's the top left key on my 21 key or 22 key RPG Key. In the lower left-hand corner, it tells you what is already assigned to that key. So it says down key 201, and it says edit in Photoshop. It says down key /201, edit in another. So the reason for the slash is because, and the double slash is because the RPG Key can do, every button can do 3 things. So if you press button 201, it's going to edit in Photoshop. If you hold down the option 2, which is this button right here, and then hit 201, it's going to do the second thing. And if you hold down the option 3 and hit that 201 button, it's going to do the third thing, which in this case is currently unassigned. So let's clear this button and program it for you. So I'm going to hit the button down here that says clear this key. And so now it says in the lower left-hand corner, it says that this key is fully unassigned for use in Lightroom 5. So we're going to go to the function drop-down menu, which is right here in the top right. And there's all of these amazing different things that you can do. The vast majority, 95% of what you're going to do is in a list of macros called RPG functions. Okay? And it's searchable. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for the word exposure. Okay? And there's 20 exposure down macros and 20 exposure up macros. And you'll see it says like exposure up 001 or 005. The numbers are a strength. So I'm going to do exposure up 005. And so now at the bottom, I've just double clicked on it. At the bottom left, it says exposure up 005. Now, imagine for a moment that I wanted to also have this key do exposure down 005. So what I'm going to do is I've got 201 highlighted blue. I'm going to click on option 2. And so now I've got these 2 items highlighted blue. I'm going to go to the function menu, go back to the function menu, go to RPG functions, and I'm going to now go find exposure down 005 and double click on it. And so in the lower left hand corner, it now says exposure up 5 and exposure down 5. So that's what this key could do. Now if I click on option 3, it unclicks option 2, and I can go down to RPG functions, and I could do anything else. I could do exposure up 15. Okay. Don't get caught thinking that the numbers 5 and 15 are the actual metric that moves the slider. It's different for every slider. Just know that 5 is more than 4 and less than 6. So if you're using your RPG key and you press the button to move the black slider and it's just not enough for you, it's taking too long, and you have to press it too many times, go ahead and change it to blacks up 10 or blacks up 15. Increase that number in the macro list. So that's the basics of your RPG key. We're going to go through some advanced stuff now. The RPG key can trigger a macro both when you press a key down and when you let a key go. So if we wanted to do, for example, on this button, we wanted to do flag 3 star when we press the button down, and then when we let it go, we wanted to go to the next photo. So I've clicked on this. So we did key down was flag 3 star, and key up, so that's when you let the key go. We can do another macro. So I'm going to go to RPG functions, and I'm going to go to next image, search for next, and I know what's in here. There it is, next. It's going to take me a minute here to find it. Next image. So I'm going to click next image. So now on the bottom left, you'll see key down 201. It says 3 stars. And then key up 201 is next image. So literally on your computer keyboard, imagine if you pressed the A key. Press A down, it does 3 stars. Let the A key go, it advances you to the next image. That might be a really helpful thing for you. So that's how you use key up and key down. And if you're curious about it, you can hover over this little question mark and it will show you. If I want to go to button 201, you have to be careful because it's still stuck in key up. So make sure if you're going to play with key up and key down that you put it back to key down when you're done. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to go through the function menu. Okay, so there are a zillion different types of functions in your RPG key, and the one thing you need to know is that they all come with directions. So if we click on modifier, this is an RPG function type which allows you to simulate like pressing of an Alt key or a Shift key. And there's a set of directions here in white ink that says assign this function twice to each key. So you want to do key up and key down. So as you go through the RPG key software, just watch for these set of white directions and these question marks, because these are where you've got your little helps and tips. And also, if you get stuck, give us a call. We're happy to help you. So here we go. I'm going to go through these functions really quickly. I'm not going to do each one of them. Mouse click is really neat. It's a tool you can use to record the pressing of your mouse at a certain location on the screen. So if I click here where it says set X and Y, and see how it says X0, Y0? Well, if I click this capture mouse location tool button, 3 seconds after I press that button, it's going to record the actual location on your screen of the mouse. So I'll do it again. We'll do it up here by the apple. And so if you were in Lightroom, for example, and you press that button, it's going to take your mouse and click that spot on the screen. And it's useful, but only if you set Lightroom up the same way each time. All right, so that's mouse click. Keyboard shortcuts, this is where you want to go to enter a native computer shortcut in Lightroom. So like if there was a shortcut for Command Option L, we'd put an L in this box and click Command and Option. Or if we wanted to do just the R key, which is crop in Lightroom, we would just put an R here. Okay, and then to kind of set it, you just go to a different key. So go to key 202, and then 201 will be set for R. Okay. We've got modifiers, which we talked about. That's for simulating a Shift, Control, or Option key. We've got open and run. So this is useful in Photoshop. If you want your logo, you could browse to a copy of your logo, and every time you press that button in Photoshop, if you're in Photoshop, it will grab your logo for you. RPG functions, this is a library of a couple thousand functions that we've written for you in both Photoshop and Lightroom. This is really neat. So the the next one is called RPG Menu Actions, and this might be something that you really benefit from, specifically in Photoshop. What it does is, when you hit this scan, it opens up your version of the target application. So in this case, it's going to be Lightroom, and it's going to learn all of these menus. So if you have the plugin, RadLab, it's going to make a shortcut for opening a photo from Lightroom into RadLab for you. So let's do it. We're going to go here. We're going to hit scan. It's going to open up our RPG key software and make a shortcut for every single menu item. So I'm going to look for Rad. And there it is, Photo Edit in RadLab. So now if I click on that when I'm in Lightroom, button 201 is going to open a photo in RadLab. So that's Menu Actions. Lightroom Presets. You've got, it will find all your presets. If it doesn't find your presets, you basically need, and there are more than just the default ones, you need to go to your preferences in Lightroom. You need to go to presets, and you need to uncheck this store presets in catalog right here. So don't check that, and then reboot Lightroom and RPG, and you should see them. So there's your presets. Photoshop Actions. If you hit scan here and you've got Photoshop selected right here, it will actually find all of your Photoshop actions. If you hit scan, and you do have to run this twice, but it will actually make a shortcut for every single Photoshop action that you have. Scrolling on button actions, play with this, it actually learns your version of Lightroom or Photoshop or any program. It will learn the buttons and allow you to press them. And the other ones are the context menu. This macro stack, auto text, and context menu are kind of alpha tools. Play with them, read about the directions. And then lastly, you've got Lightroom gradient presets, retouching presets, and radial presets. So if you were to click on gradient presets, it finds all your presets for your gradient tool. And so what it does is, if you click on this key, click on this macro, what it's going to do is in Lightroom, it's going to take you, it's going to go into Lightroom. Here, let's get Lightroom to the develop module. It's going to open up your gradient tool. It's going to then grab the preset that you selected for you, and then it's set for you to do your gradient. So that's what that is. So the same is true for radial, retouching, and gradient. And it's not a lot of people use those tools in Lightroom, but if you do, that's going to be a huge time saver for you. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I would say go play. Your RPG key is basically ready for you to play. And remember, Chris and I, we run this business. We're a small company. We pride ourselves on helping people. So tinker with it. And if you get stuck, call us. Skype is free. It's the best program we know of for screen sharing. It allows us to log into your machine and watch you with your RPG key and answer any questions. On a Mac, there's almost nothing your RPG key can't do. And so if you put a couple hours into it, it's going to save you hundreds and hundreds of hours in your photo editing for years to come. All right, take care.